Finally, when we wrap this up really quick, is college bowl season dead to you? Because I heard this talk on what was it, Mostly Sports today, that with the transfer portal and the way that guys sit out for the draft now, and the sitting out for the draft now has been more of a problem in the last few years than the transfer portal did. But we saw like Kyle McCord's not going to be available for Ohio State. He's now going to Syracuse, which congratulations to him. There's not going to be as much pressure on him next year, and I don't mean that in any disrespect. Is that I even for me, I was part of
Mhm.
it. Some Ohio State fans were like kind of hard on him this year, even though there were certain things that weren't done. But you see the news of like Jaden Daniels, the Heisman winner, not going to play for LSU in this bowl game. So even my complaints of a Heisman winner playing in the Capital One Bowl, which doesn't exist anymore apparently, uh, isn't even going to come true. But that's even worse somehow. And you look at these games now, which the people who are saying on Twitter, like for all the people who say the bowl games don't matter, shut up. They're kind of right. When you look at those videos of the kids winning the famous Toastery Bowl that I'm watching right now between Old Dominion and Western Kentucky, whoever wins that's going to love it, and they're going to be ecstatic and so amazed, and they're going to take their goodie bag and go right back to school. They're going to love it. It just doesn't grab you the way I think that it used to, and I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if it's the playoff that is the biggest catalyst of this, if it's the transfer portal, if it's just this wave of guys realizing, hey, I'm gonna make millions here in a couple of months. Why risk it for 60 minutes of nothing?
Yeah.
Essentially, like I guess now that I say it, that's probably the biggest answer.
Yeah. At the same time, that used to be the most logical answer. But now you're still seeing it. And look, I still think he's going, but Marvin Harrison still hasn't made a decision because the NIL can give players more money than they're going to make as a first round pick and a top five pick.
Right.
There's a reason that some of these guys aren't sitting out. But at the same time, I think in these lower end bowls, guys are sitting out because it's not as important. I think college bowl season has died to a degree because if you weren't in the college football playoff, it was always a big deal to be in a New Year's Six bowl. Ohio State is playing on the 29th
In the
in
Cotton
the
Bowl,
Cotton Bowl, which
which is
used to be a New
it's
Year's.
still kind of big. I mean,
It is, but why is that not a New Year's Day? Like, I get you don't want to take viewership away from the college football playoff, and I'm sure that has a major factor because these networks want to be able to air every game and get as many views and ratings as possible for revenue in terms of sponsors and advertisers. But you look at some of these other games, then you're like, Monday, January 1st, I have to watch Wisconsin play LSU now with no Heisman Trophy winner.
yeah.
I have to watch Iowa and Tennessee.
Dude, I mean,
Like,
yeah, you look at some of these matches with Oregon versus undefeated Liberty. Wow.
hey, go Liberty though. Good friend
Yeah, why not?
Jason,
Good for them.
colleague goes to Liberty. Big Liberty fan. Uh, you know, in my pocket over here. But I I will say this as of now, Mitch, college bowl season's dead.
Mm,
It is. Next year, though, I'm not going to come in saying it's dead because I think it's going to be completely different with 12 teams making the playoff.
mm,
It's going to be a lot more chaotic. But when you say is bowl season dead, then you also, I feel like, almost discredit some of these teams that their goal is
right.
just to get 6 wins to be bowl eligible. But at the same time, a lot of the games put on between these two 6 win teams aren't enjoyable most of the time. And it's intriguing, but as of right now, for the 2023 season, rolling into the 24 playoffs in
Mm.
terms of coming off the 23 season, I will say college bowl season to me is dead.
So going back to that bowl eligibility thing, the threshold is 6, and even then, sometimes there have been like 5 and 7 teams that have snuck in and been like, "Hey, we can fill in because this other team's not going to do it." Do you think they should maybe up it to like 7 and 5, maybe
I
to
do.
like
I
limit
do.
the amount of teams that are kind of getting in and like, I don't know, because you don't want to risk excluding these teams that are like, hey, we've been winning 6 games this whole time. You're now not going to let us get in. And but I'm saying like maybe
Well,
maybe the trickle down effect is if these 7 and 5 teams don't want to play, these 6 and 6 teams can get in and maybe make a difference. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's such a
I agree with you, but you know why it's never going to happen? Because then you'd lose bowl games, and the
mm,
NCAA would lose money. and TV networks would lose money and revenue and advertisements. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, for some reason, I feel like more so this year than years past, more coaches from other programs, not necessarily big name programs, have said, hey, our guys deserve, with now NIL, a revenue split with these bowl games. Whether that's right or wrong, you're starting to hear it talked about more and more. But that's why, unless they make the season longer, which I don't know if you can do now with a 12-team playoff because you're already asking players to play more games than they're used to, it's going to stay at 6-6. I mean, Mitch, this is why James Madison is in a bowl game this year when all year they were not going to be eligible because they moved divisions.
Right.
But because there weren't enough 6-6 teams, it was, hey, James Madison, you guys have one loss.
Which
Yeah,
I kind of figured that would happen either way.
That's also, I just think that rule is stupid. If you're moving up divisions and you're good enough to win your first year in Division One, you, in my opinion, you should be able to make bowl games.
Yeah. Also, can we just, I know we can't do it because they're going to need sponsors forever, but like, can we put a bylaw in to like limit the amount of sponsors on the bowl game names? Sponsor whatever you want. Sponsor the sideline, sponsor the midfield logo, sponsor the helmets on the kids' heads, sponsor the coach's jacket for all I care. There's like 2 bowl games with no additional sponsor on it. There's the Myrtle Beach Bowl, there's the LA Bowl, there's the Birmingham Bowl. That's 1. That's 3 rather. That's kind of it.
Well,
as far as I can tell.
Famous Idaho Potato Bowl. That's all one sponsor.
I guess, yeah, that's like a sponsor thing. But wouldn't that be like the Idaho Bowl or the Potato Bowl already? Or the Boise Bowl would be if it wasn't a sponsor. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Trans Perfect Music City Bowl, Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl, Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Tell me what Cheez-Its have to do with citrus, my friend.
That one throws me off.
At least Tostitos Fiesta Bowl had something to do with Tostitos. Now it's the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, or what is it now?
The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, what is it now? I gotta find it. I'm gonna get myself so riled up if I find it. What is Verbo Fiesta Bowl? Oh my God.